Oh, not again! Well, hello everybody. Welcome back. This is Last Orders. How are you all doing? I love our new festive background. It looks real cool.
Yeah,
It just makes me feel warm and fuzzy when I see it. So
again, I advocate we need more months that do different things that are fun.
Yeah,
right?
like
Can't just have the two major ones.
Nah. We need to think up a theme for each month. See if we can come up with something. January will just be like
world.
January will be like bleakness and hopelessness. God.
All too common in Britain. Gotta be a bit more unique than that as most months.
It is, yeah. It's so funny, right? I actually got a message from Travis, right? My director who did Rogue Elements, and he did Trial by Fire and all the short films that we did. Anyway, he got a photo from his director of photography, who's currently shooting in the Bahamas at the moment, and it's like palm trees and bright sunshine and stuff in the background, and he's just by the pool, like smiling at the camera, and it's like, motherfucker.
Well, you know,
God,
I have to vicariously live through him.
Yeah, and here I am in Scotland, and it's actually pouring rain outside as well, and generally a bit miserable. But that's okay because I've got the warmth of your company, Muller, to keep me going. So thank you. And
I'm on frosty mode right now.
Yeah, you look good actually. I like the avatar.
Yeah.
And we've got our lovely audience watching us, not live, but we can imagine them here watching this replay. And I think it's about time we answer some of their questions. What do you think?
Yes, sir.
All right. So the first bunch of super chats here are from the members, and Snex, one of my subscribers, was good enough to send me a follow-up of all the ones that I missed on the night. So here we go. The first one is Strong Opinions, who says, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms trailer has dropped. Yes, it did. And I quite liked it. I'm very happy with Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. Hopefully it lives up to expectations. Jeremy Soden says, congrats on 500,000 views on the new video, Mubes.
Yeah, I mean, which is, I know that some people are like, we've gotten 1 million views before, certainly Drinker here. So it's like, well, and it's like, well, but in a 17.5-hour video, it's insane that many people have completed it. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's like completing a video game or something. It's like you really have to fight your way through it. Man, like it's still going up now, isn't it? It's well north of 600,000 at this point.
Yeah, and honestly, I know it sounds like it could be biased or whatever and everything. But it's had a pretty positive reception. I was a bit worried about it because obviously it's an insane thing that I've created, but people seem to think that the main thing I was worried about was the pacing, and it seems to have gone over pretty well. Have you seen portions of it? What do you think about that front?
I have, yeah. I'm currently on the character analysis section at the moment, and like just watching you absolutely lay into Kay Vess is superb. How she's just like the shittiest person in video games.
I'll tell you, dude, I was like writing that sequence out, getting all my references, and I was like, oh shit, this has become like it's like over an hour of just be ranting about this woman.
But she does seem horrible. I honestly can't wait. I can't wait to get to the gameplay mechanics section.
Oh yeah,
I just know that's
going to talk about.
Yeah, because I've seen some of the montages that you sent to me, and like, oh, they're glorious. The next up here is Kuhaku, who says, "Watch Stranger Things season 5. I found it was okay, but won't top season 1 or season 4. Better than 2 and 3. I feel they only originally planned for 1 season." Yeah, I'm inclined to agree on all those points. Actually, yeah, it's better than seasons 2 and 3. I would say 2 is a bit marginal, but yeah, definitely better than 3.
I'm not liking it though. I don't think it's as good as 4. Certainly not as good as 1.
It's not as good as 4, I don't think. We'll see where it ends. Like, maybe it'll redeem itself towards the end, but bit of a rocky start.
Maybe.
Lamplow says, sounds important. Saving Private Ryan, only using gunfire, Lord of the Rings music. What examples of a show and movie do you feel have the most impactful sound or soundtrack? Interesting question, actually.
Yeah.
We've been asked plenty of times about movies that we think have particularly good soundtracks, and there's millions you could mention, like the James Horner soundtrack from Aliens, or like I think he did a lot of the scores for most of the older Star Trek movies. I think they're all fantastic. Things like anything by John Williams really like absolutely elevates movies like that he's scoring. So like stuff like that sort of is easy to pick out. And Lord of the Rings obviously has a superb soundtrack. Again, like just perfectly fits with the action. But like on a more specific sort of question then about rather than soundtracks, like is there any movies that you thought like just the actual sound design was really well done, whether it was like battle scenes or whatever it might be?
I've always loved, like, I'd say there's a lot of suspenseful films. I think Alien sound design is pretty pitch perfect, but one that I've heard praised by other people but probably doesn't get enough attention. I don't know if you've seen Krampus before. Sound design in that is actually like really fucking outstandingly good. There's just a bit of an art to like what effects you use when, like, Foley, I think it's called, right? When you have to create like a sense of and it's funny how much the sounds aren't at all the things that they're representing, but that's just how ears work, I guess. You just gotta get everything right, mix it all together, and you can create a lot of different good things. But yeah, I don't know, it would be an interesting thing to think about in terms of like what movies have the best sound design instead of necessarily soundtracks or whatever.
Trickster King says, after listening to you read my super chat and the catch up, I decided to watch Alien and Predator. Love them both more than AVP2. I mean, I would hope that you do. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you watched them. And Razorburn says, admittedly, this season is not impressing me at all. Drinker, love the Christmas tree in the background. Chris, do you get tickets for Dragon Con yet? Got mine. I'm not sure if Chris got his tickets for Dragon Con, but yeah, I like the Christmas tree in the background and the lights. They're just nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, slightly more festive open bar at the moment. And yeah, I love the jumpers we've got. I don't know why it put you in like a green suit, but hey ho.
Yeah.
We work with what we have. Yeah. Dark Hour says, Stranger Things versus Avatar is the battle of IPs that have long overstayed their welcome. They both have set new standards for how to milk those ideas to death. I'm inclined to agree on that one, yeah.
Yeah.
Go for Broke says, will playing Outlaws be a requirement for all EFAP hosts, meaning Little Platoon must play it?
No. But it would have been cool for him to have played that, to be a part of like the different compilations. I was talking to Az, and he was like, that's possibly the bigger regret he has, is that he doesn't get to be a part of the whole like the sequence of everyone, because like what glitches he would have found, but he did opt to avoid Outlaws, which maybe he shouldn't have, for the memes,
Yeah. Blankface says, nice video on Cats, Drinker. I want to add something people should watch regarding that film, a video by the YouTuber Sideways. He goes over all the ways the movie fails from a musical perspective. Yeah, I mean, that's obviously beyond the scope of what I can tell you, but yeah, that was a hilarious one to try and understand how that movie failed in so many ways, and just all the stupid shit that went on behind the scenes with that. Yeah, absolute nightmare fuel with the Cats. Blankface also says, if you could release any director from director's jail, who would you pick, regardless of whether it's to see potential gold or just for the lols? My pick would probably be John McTiernan, I think. Did some of my favorite action movies from back in the day, and I think he was put in actual jail for a while for like tax evasion or something, and then he's never really gotten back after that, which is a shame because he was pretty good back in the day.
As a test, I want to see what Whedon would make if he was released from, I guess, personal jail or director's jail, whatever you want to call it. But I want to see if he's capable of making anything good.
Yeah. Yeah, I would like to see him come back. I mean, do you think there's any potential for it?
No.
At some point?
He's too hated, and it doesn't look like he's interested. So, both of those out the window, you're kind of fucked.
Says, oh boy, I'm just so overjoyed to see when this bad imitation of Dances with Wolves somehow becomes the highest grossing movie of all time and yet still has no cultural footprint. Yeah, we're all still continuously baffled by that, but that just keeps happening.
I've seen people like get mad at that statement as though it's not true, and it's like, it is though. Like, it may be a common statement at this point, but it's still true.
It's 100% true, yeah. And Loving Vincent is a movie where literally every frame is hand painted in the style of Vincent van Gogh. If you could have a movie with the same idea, what artist's style would you want it to follow? Wow. Christ, what could you even say to that? Because you get movies with really weird visual design, like that Keanu Reeves one, like In a Scanner Darkly, where it was all like weirdly animated and stuff. Not sure I would necessarily want it, if you know what I mean. Like, I'd maybe rather go for like a more standard filmic approach. But
Lord of the Rings, but with every frame a Jackson Pollock painting.
Sure, yeah, that'll do. Hunter Dvorak says, well, folks, our worst nightmare seems to be reality. The rumor of a possible live-action remake of Up. Oh, I think we talked about this on the night, actually.
Remaking movies. Like the thing about casting whoever, it's like as soon as they even they're getting closer and closer to Pixar's golden era, and that's when everyone is going to have to declare it's over for movies. It was a good run, but it's done.
Yeah. What's it? Yeah, Reno the Turk says, also Mauer, as a master of impressions, I refapped Die Hard again and cracked me up at Mauer's impression of Alan Rickman going, ew, a gun. His Nigel Powers and the Chav from Rom are great too.
Alan Rickman's a legend.
I
don't quite remember this reference, but I'm sure it happened. That was a fun EFAP. It is fun sometimes to just be like unapologetically praise the shit out of an awesome film.
Yeah. Elsie Le Pen, seconding recommends for Letterkenny and its spin-off Shoresy. Those shows have the best humor I've seen in years, especially the insults or chirps. Watch clips of the hockey coach. You'll be rolling. Okay.
All right.
What the fuck is Shoresy?
Not sure.
Yeah, Mitch says, what happened to Sisu's wealth from all the gold? That's a good question, actually. I mean, I guess he bought the truck that he used to transport his cabin, maybe. I don't know. Maybe he's just got it stashed in a bank account somewhere, and like,
he gave it to trusted friends and family that we don't see.
Yeah. Elsie Le Pen, Mauer, can I request you recite John Goodman's monologue from Community, season 3, episode 1, the one that starts, and you never had to, Dean?
Oh, I know what you're talking about because he's like the air conditioner expert or whatever, and it is funny as fuck, but I can't be asked. I can find the fucking thing and read it all out. I'm sorry.
There's only so much we can do on Last Orders, okay? Radreal S says, greetings. In light of the failure of Netflix's The Witcher, I've decided to publish my solo film project, Witcher School of the Wolf. Would you be as kind as to give at least the trailer a shot? I could take a look at that, yes. Jordan Pendragon, Jake has mastered earth and water. Now he needs to master fire and air to become the true avatar. Yeah, it's just...
woohoo.
Fucking the life just drains out of me.
It's just, who cares about Jake Sully anyway?
Yeah. No one.
I think you said Jake Scully, and I was like, no, that's not it.
It could be, though. The Bexorcist says, hail Drinker, almost at 100 subs in just a few months. Thanks for all the entertainment and helping me get off my ass to finally make videos. It's been fun. Excellent stuff, man. Keep at it. Hello Shicklets says, can't wait for Platoon to say, it's Platooning time, and then Platoon all over the place.
Hell yeah.
He's never done it yet, though. We keep trying to get him to do it.
He's saving it.
Yeah. Zeddy Boy says, if we combined Mauer, Little Platoon, and Random Film Talks voices, we would get Christopher Lee's voice.
The formula, huh?
Yeah. SBZ says, Drinker, we appreciate your Sisu 2 review. However, I wonder why you didn't put it on your main channel. It deserves all the exposure it can get, no? I mean, to some extent, yeah. I think it was because I just put out a video on the main channel like the day before, and I figured it would get squashed. Like the Sisu would get squashed by that one, or vice versa. And I wanted to remind people, like, yeah, I do actually put reviews on my second channel as well. It's not just live stream uploads. Like, there's a whole bunch of things there. So, yeah, I think that was partly my reasoning behind it. It's not exactly complex, but there it is.
Mm-hmm.
Autism says, well done, Mauer, for releasing his first YouTube short.
Finally. Hell yes.
Yeah. It's Mr. Yang. Hello, Bar. Mauer, congrats on the vid. Can't help but notice music from Nier Automata. Goated game and music. You all need to play it if you haven't. Questions for the Bar. What's a game that left you deep in thought? I feel like we asked that one already.
Yeah, I said Soma, which
yeah,
think about Soma regularly.
Yeah. Mexi Rage, watching Sisu 2, loving it, then going to see Fackham Hall. Hope it's funny as I'm hearing. I need a good comedy. Also, Mauler, do you guys plan on doing an EFAP of the Predator with the show? With to show how good it is?
Oh, one day for sure. Yeah. I mean, it's a slow process, but we want to get around to like a lot of our favorite shit. I think so far, it's like The Fly, Die Hard, Iron Giant. Technically, Train to Busan would count as one of the ones we did sort of randomly earlier on, but
Yeah.
there's a list, and we're going to make it through a lot of them eventually.
Nice. M. Poe says about the Running Man movie, 1987. It was directed by Paul Glasser of Starsky and Hutch fame. Nice. That's pretty cool. Shadowhawk, Drinker and Panel, been trying to settle a debate. At what point does stuff become fan fiction? For example, would you consider everything George Lucas didn't write or create himself fan fiction?
I think everyone draws the line differently, right? It's a big part of it is going to be who officially owns the license, because otherwise it's just down to everyone's individual point of view.
Yeah, and like you can make the argument, like back when Lucas was still in charge of Lucasfilm, then like all the expanded universe stuff was all written by multiple different authors and so on, and like he endorsed it and gave it his stamp of approval. So then I wouldn't say that that is fan fiction. That is like officially canon to Star Wars. So yeah, I mean, ultimately it comes down to whether, and as you say, as clinical as it sounds, whatever company holds the licensing rights, if they officially endorse it, then it's not fan fiction. That's really where it is. Like on an emotional level, do I consider things like all those different Star Trek shows to be canon to Star Trek? No, I just see them as bad fan fiction, like all the Alex Kurtzman stuff. I could quite easily just pretend they don't exist, and I'd be fine with that. So that's where I draw the line.
Well, yeah, I mean, like a sequel trilogy, the reason why everyone's so fucking upset at them is because they're canon. Simultaneously, when I think of the story of Luke Skywalker, it's like a joke to me that I would consider that canon. Like, no.
Yeah. B Chain says, reminds me of the Great Boston Massacre of 1919. I shouldn't laugh actually because it was horrific, but a molasses tanker blew up due to temperature fluctuations in January, flowing towards the harbor. 21 people and numerous animals were killed. Crazy. Yeah. One, it's funny because I have to keep reminding myself, like, molasses is treacle, basically. And you kind of think, like, okay, say there was this big flow of treacle coming towards you. Like, couldn't you just walk away from it? Like, is it that dangerous?
Maybe it was real slippery and it got there fast, and they just couldn't escape. It's like quicksand.
Maybe, like, was it so deep that you got like drowned in it?
I don't know.
I'm struggling to understand how that leads to like fatalities. It's weird. What's the next one? Yeah, Greeny Greenfield. I've recently gotten into Stephen King's Dark Tower series. It's basically Lord of the Rings meets Good, Bad, and the Ugly. If done well, it could make a good film or TV series. Didn't they do a Dark Tower movie a while back?
With
It had like Idris Elba,
right? Yeah.
Yeah, but I heard it was shit.
That's all I know.
Yeah. Bandit Red. So I finally started Firefly. That first episode is an S tier opener. How do I cope with there only being one season?
Take it slowly, I guess.
Yeah,
enjoy it
savor
while
them.
you can.
Mexi Rage says, watch Landman if you haven't. It's really good. Also, it breaks my heart seeing what Star Trek has become because it's what I watched with my stepdad. I'm the same, man. Like, my dad was what got me into Star Trek back in the day. Like, first with the old movies with the original crew, and then Next Generation. And I got a lot of fond attachment to that franchise. So to see what it's become is pretty demoralizing.
Yeah.
Yeah, next one. Grant says, give me your top 5 favorite Christmas films. Ooh. Should we see if we can come up with some kind of like amalgamated list?
Batman Returns.
That wouldn't have been my pick. Okay. I see where you're going. Die Hard, obviously. It's a Wonderful Life. Muppets Christmas Carol.
Jingle All the Way.
Sure. Yeah. What would be another, like, what's another favorite for me? Maybe Home Alone.
Yeah.
I think probably Home Alone would finish it up for me. Yeah. Cannon Falderall. Drinker, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf was released with an SMA label as the MPAA begins testing the waters on a rating system. That's interesting, actually. Normal Man says, somehow Melvin, the brother of the Joker, has returned. Nice. Thrill House says, Hans Moleman, welcome back to Longman in the morning. Good Longman to you. Today, part 4 of our series on the agonizing long in which I live every day. Jeffinator, some better Star Trek news. Lego released a set for the Enterprise from TNG a few days ago, and it was sold out within a day. Isn't that interesting, eh? It's kind of like when they release, new Star Trek collectibles or whatever, or sorry, Star Wars collectibles. If it's an OT-based thing, or even the prequels, it will sell out pretty quickly. If it's anything to do with the sequels, like, no one cares. It's just like gets left. It's brilliant. The FGC Sensei says, I've yet to see any of you guys talk about Welcome to Derry. It's well acted, well written, and felt fresh. The 60s period piece is nice to revisit instead of the overplayed 80s nostalgia. I'm not sure if we answered this on the night, but yeah, I've never felt compelled to watch it. Really?
I've also just heard mixed things. And someone who's a big fan of the source for that is not. They've just told me they're not that happy with it so far. So I'm just waiting, I guess.
Yep. Slain Hope says the next generation of fans pirate what they watch. They probably do to some extent, yeah. Fatness Never Lean says, congrats on the vid, long man. Still getting through it and loving it. Also, Drinker, how do you stay so fit with all the drinking? Cheers to the bar. Well, I mean, that's easy. I live on a liquid diet, so, there's not too many calories in whiskey. So, yeah, easy to stay in shape. Hollow Chicklets says, when's the production hell video on Mahler's Outlaws vid? I mean, I was.
You actually know more about it than anyone else, technically.
Yeah. The unfortunate reality is it doesn't make for a dramatic video. It's just like grinding away at this like massive gargantuan project for like months on end.
Pretty much.
And like with production hell, it usually ends in some kind of disaster, whereas this one is like a highly successful video. So it's like, just got it done, doing the work. Don Quixote says, I recently lost my father. We saw some classics together like Schindler's List and some absolute clunkers like Batman and Robin. Please raise a glass to him. What's the best and worst that you've seen with a parent? I will raise a glass. You can't see me right now because my camera's not on.
I think we did talk about this one because we were saying, like, imagine that as a double feature, those two.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think my answer was like anytime there's like a sex scene in a movie is like pretty much the worst thing to be watching with your parents, but it always happens. Idioticin says, someone asked on the last bar if you'd take a trilogy with Cavill and Sweeney starring, but also Spacey, Amber Heard, and Ezra, etc. I have the perfect franchise for that. Friday the 13th, 2 hours of Cavill and Sweeney running around in swimsuits while Jason takes out the rest of them. That's pretty fair because there's no limit on how long they have to be in the movie for, or the trilogy. Kill them off within the first 2 minutes. Fine. Stoops the Cat says, space is fake. There is no curve. Okay. Sure, buddy.
Sweet.
One-Armed Wolf. Hail to the open bar and hail to the fellowship. Hail to you, my friend. Andreas LA, and correct me if I'm wrong, Waller, you might have to tell me if I've done this one before, but you often see directors and writers who get worse and worse. Why do you think this is? Does imagination and skill have a shelf life?
Yeah, we definitely talked about this one.
Okay. Cannon Folderall. Also, 1966, Blow Up from MGM releases without a code seal to commercial success, weakening the code further. Also, Adam West Batman movie. Cheers. Oh, I can't believe I didn't mention that. Absolute classic. Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb. Tessellate. Question for the panel. You are each gifted a magic movie ticket, like Last Action Hero. Oh, yeah, I remember that one, actually.
Yeah.
Eat Man. Fertile soil for a novel series. Theaters versus TV. King feels his IP didn't get full vision on big screen. Lord of the Rings in good hands, better in TV or movie. So what are you saying? Like, if you were to get like a big budget miniseries with Lord of the Rings, would it be better? I don't know. I mean, I think Jackson did a pretty amazing job.
I mean, I'm all for more of something that's amazing, obviously. So I don't know. I
I did.
guess.
Yeah, well, you know how there's like essentially hundreds of hours of content that we've never seen with Jackson's Lord of the Rings, like whole scenes and like subplots and stuff that were never shown, but they were filmed. I did suggest like you could probably chop each movie up into like a say a 5 episode miniseries or something, and like put all that extended stuff in, um, and it would absolutely clear up. But you
Yeah.
know, I'm all right with what we got. Flag Ninja. I'm kind of conflicted. On one hand, I do think AI's got a lot of issues, but at the same time, I talk with ChatGPT in the same way Geordie LaForge talked with the enterprise computer to work out a problem. I mean, good on you if you're finding ways to use it, I guess. I don't like where it's going. But yeah, like, you get those adverts for AI now, like Google AI that can help you out, and it'll be things like, how do I make a nice meal for my girlfriend that doesn't make me seem too needy, but like it's also tasty or whatever? And it's like, imagine having to rely on a fucking AI to romance your girlfriend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is there not something really like creepy and just weird about that?
There's like the most undeniable one is any advancements it's going to make in medicine, right? It's not a complete like I don't think anyone can actually coherently argue that AI is bad completely, but just use it responsibly, I guess, is the answer, right?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Robert Burasa says, Hail Drinkery Panel, if you could be anyone at any time for as long as you want, who would it be?
Um,
I mean, right? Like, so historical figures and,
I
you
guess
know,
probably some kind of like a Daredevil, not Daredevil, obviously. Someone who's doing crazy shit and is really good at it to get like a maximum amount of crazy experiences as quickly as you can, and then I guess bow out before you end up killing yourself by accident.
I mean, you could be like Neil Armstrong just before he lands on the moon. Like, that'd be pretty
Yeah,
neat, I guess. It'd be a nice experience. Landlight says, Hey Drinker, if you ever get the chance, you should check out the remake of an anime called Space Battleship Yamato, aka Star Blazers. I think you'll appreciate it as a Star Trek fan. I know Space Battleship Yamato. It's very cool. Yeah, Master of Puppets, Muller. You should do an 18-hour long video on your love for the Bioshock games or the Avatar movies, assuming you can remember anything about them.
I mean, we'll probably do something for Bioshock someday. Bioshock 1 is like one of my favorite games of all time.
I just imagine having to spend 18 hours talking about Avatar, though.
Yeah, no. Which is funny because like you did it for Outlaws. Like, yeah, I mean, games usually have more to talk about, I guess, on average than a movie because there's story as well. Outlaws is a
Yeah.
wonderful story.
I mean, it sounds like it. Brother Voltus, Drinker, love reliance on environmental storytelling and theory speculating. Want to play as a child forced to survive in a world where you you eat or get eaten. Then you should review Little Nightmares. I have
I
not
think you'd
played
read that
that.
one. I'm familiar with Little Nightmares, though apparently the third one was not well received by a lot of people, from what I have seen.
Oh. Imperial Brick. Fully CGI movies aren't that impressive anymore in 2025. It needs much more than that to be significant now. Yeah, absolutely. Mr. Marwin, Mauler, epic new video, peak autism. Is there anywhere I can find an in-depth examination of Angel season 5?
Yeah, from me someday. But as it stands, I'm pretty elitist, purist on like analysis of that season. There's nobody I've come across yet who I would recommend who's done it, I guess. But it's pretty niche, so it's not a surprise or anything. It's not like loads of people have done it and they're all bad or anything.
Yeah. Talking Panda says, what is a movie you think is great but got buried and missed? Mine is Sorcerer, buried by an improper name and Star Wars. Excellent clinic intention. Yeah, that's the one where they've got to transport like nitroglycerine or something through like the jungle. And yeah, like it was a absolute bitch of a movie to get made because like they had to like have a bridge that they could drive this truck over that would like seemingly collapse and like sway from side to side and stuff, and it was a bit of a nightmare to do. But I don't know, like movies that got buried that should have got more attention, like Dread's probably a good example. I think it got
Yeah.
pretty shit marketing behind it, and it just like absolutely died at the box office. But man, good movie. Brother Volta says, Chris, review Out of Words. You'll thank me later. Okay. Grant says you have a gifts. You have to gift movies as stocking stuffers for a family. The movies have to be from this year. What are you picking for each person? Mum, dad, and kids. Ooh, okay. From this particular year. I mean, for the dads, I'd maybe give him like Warfare. Well, this is a pretty fucking good movie. The mum, what the hell's come out this year that women would like?
I don't know, fucking Wicked or whatever. The women like
Yeah,
that.
Wicked's probably a good shout. Yeah, and the kids.
Maybe the best women movie might be Predator Badlands as well. That's always a good shout.
It seems like it is, yeah, according to Grace Randolph. Yeah, and the kids like Zootopia 2.
Yeah, that could be
Is
the
that
family movie or whatever, right?
Yeah. Microbe says, didn't they spend a third of the second film learning to swim underwater? Then at the end, there's a big explosion with fire on the water. So instead of swimming under the flames, they go back to die. Yeah, it's pretty retarded. Connor Arnold, what are everyone's thoughts on weekly episode releases on streaming services? I mean, I like it.
I like
I
it.
much prefer a weekly release schedule than dumping it all in one go, and then you've got to try and like wade
I
through
mean,
all of it.
imagine how fast Alien Earth would have left the cultural consciousness if it had come out all at once. You wouldn't want that.
No, you could cherish it instead. John Burnside says, I can
Yay.
hear Drinker's review start with, here we go again, James Cameron's third installment of Avatar, fire out my arse.
You should do that. Write
I
it
might
down.
just do it, yeah. Sonny Hard, didn't Colonel Quaritch go native and get some strange? Who even knows what's going on with that fucking character at this point? I don't know. Gone Gene the Machine. Avatar 3 could have gone in the direction of Army of Darkness, where Quaritch becomes the Ash character, leading the tribe of primitive Navi screwheads against an evil tribe while getting sugar from the female tribe leader. They're probably, like, I feel like they might end up doing a redemption arc with him or something. It's
yeah,
like, why bring him back otherwise?
Him.
Because he's got his son and, you know, he cares about him now and all that bullshit. Like, that was the cheapest fucking, like, resurrection for a character ever. The whole, like, recorded fucking tape entry where it's like, I'm sure nothing's going to happen, but in case it does, I've downloaded my whole brain into this computer chip. Isn't that lucky?
Sure is.
Cesar Gonzalez, happy holidays. This question is for RFT. Well, unfortunately, he's not here, but we'll try and answer it. What are your biggest fears or hopes for Spartacus House of, what is it called again? Asher or something like that. Just says HOA. Your breakdown of the series has been top notch. Isn't the fear that it's just like a girl bossy kind of take on Spartacus?
I'm so beyond out of the loop. I can't say anything. I don't know.
Yeah. Jay Smart says, let's be honest, Stephen Lang is the best part of these movies. Give me a series of him colonizing planets instead, and you'd be selling toys for ages. Yeah, absolutely. I like this character. And the more the time that passes, the more I like actually empathize with him. I mean, sure, yeah, he's pretty brutal in what he does, but he is fighting like for the future of humanity. So, what's the next one? Mist Eidolon. Mauler. What's that? Mauler's video on Star Wars Outlaws is shorter than I needed. May you ask him to do an addendum, please, Critical Drinker? Sure, Mauler, you need to add more to it.
No worries. Just part
Not
one
enough.
of 17.
Yeah. Snex says, avatarded. Yep, that describes it pretty well. Steel Manning says, how do you feel about all the Quaritch was right memes? I'm warming to them.
You know, it's not too like the movie's retarded. It's hard to like hate humanity in Avatar. And it's probably a bad place to start with your story anyway.
I think so. Yeah. Taker 610, The Way of Water had a kind of distance makes the heart grow fonder type of benefit that The Force Awakens also benefited from. This one may not. That is very true, yeah. Like, this is a much closer release, you know. Poncho says, we are getting Terminator in space, aren't we? Give it time. I want to see dinosaurs in space with Jurassic World.
Yeah.
Nero says, could Avatar's box office numbers be damaged by the overall state of cinema? Chris, you said it's for kids. Parents find it really hard to waste money on a cinema trip these days. I think you could be right. Yeah, I mean, I agree with Christie's assessment at the time. Like, it'll top 1 billion fairly easily, but it's not going to get anywhere near 2. I don't think. The landscape of cinema has changed quite a bit, and I think a lot of people would probably just rather wait for it to come out on fucking streaming.
Yeah.
King of Comedy says, Mauler, you forgot to put Black Knife in the music playlist for your video. Also, I find Reunited to be a strange track choice in the video. Otherwise, great job with the Outlaws vid. Stay long.
If obviously, like, the problem is we're looking at 17 and a half hours. I think there's nearly 200 songs. There would have been logic for every choice. I just can't remember them all, so I'd have to look in the timeline to be able to tell you more. But it was very fun building that background music because it's just full of stuff from games I love, or music I love anyway.
Jay Fraser, hail gents, congrats on your 17-hour Outlaws video, Mauler. Any behind-the-scenes stories, regrets, and the moment you realized how big this monster would end up being?
I had committed at a certain point, and so the more like big it got, the more I was like, well, this is the thing I chose to do, so I'm fucked. Like, this is happening. So you could say any regret in the sense of like, would I have still chosen to do it if I could go back knowing how long it would take? I'm very happy it's done, but any video I make
that's such a diplomatic
cost.
answer. It's like,
I mean,
do you regret how long it took? It's like, well, I'm very happy it's done.
It's the same with every video I've made. Every video I make is in place of another video that could have been made. So, like, I haven't made videos on all of my favorite things of all time. And it's like, should I have by now? It's like, well, I'd like to, but it's just not how the brain works. You end up doing stuff and stuff happens. So, but it was fucking hard to make. Beyond just the fact that it's like just all the individual processes that I assume people are aware of, making something that long coherent is really hard. It's and unruly. It's like a giant Jenga tower, and I'm just very happy it's still standing, so to speak, as it came out.
Nero says, random, I love your Spartacus breakdowns. It's great seeing someone giving its well-deserved flowers. Can't wait for War of the Damned. Very nice. Thank you for that. Proctophile says, Mauler, I survived your video. It took 4 days. Question, why Outlaws? We had so many bad games to pick from, so what was it in particular that made you pick that one?
I just, I really felt like there was basically every single subject in terms of what mechanics it attempts to deal with and everything story-wise. This just potential to make really funny memes while simultaneously making points about modern gaming, I guess, as a whole. Because, I could have done Forspoken or Veilguard or Dustborn or any of these things, but Star Wars Outlaws, one of the key aspects I think everyone can understand is it is Star Wars. So it's like kind of my wheelhouse, I guess, at this point. And then I did play it back to front, and then a lot of my friends played it, so I had plenty to work with, loads of viral clips, and then all this potential. I could see the video in my head before I made it, and all of that is enough, and I just committed to it, basically. So it just ended up that way.
There you go. OMG puppies, if the Pandorans are stuck in permanent Stone Age hunter-gathering mode, that suggests their average IQ is 50 or 60. No, you don't understand. You see, it's because they're so in touch with nature. They have no need of technology. Because, who needs medical technology and, cities and, any attempts to, like, be more than you are. Just stick with what you got. Batfan says, hey, Drinker, on the topic of sci-fi, there's a new horror game called Routine that just came out, and I was wondering if you might review it. Well, I'm looking for new games to play, so I might just take a look, actually. Ryan Bailey, was the last truly great Cameron film Titanic? If so, that's 28 years ago. Avatar has sucked up that much of his time. I mean, that's wild to think about, but yeah. And like, I don't think either of us would class it as one of the great Cameron movies. Like, it's great in terms of spectacle, but not in terms of like the actual quality of the storytelling. The last truly great one would probably be T2. That's the
truly great,
scary thing, and then you're going even further back. Ben Mengier says, since the great Mauler, Random, and Platoon are here, all at once, I must say happy holidays. And do you three remember Arcane Season 2? I do rage. Sadness.
It's one of the worst drop-offs in quality ever recorded.
And no one ever talks about it anymore. Isn't that interesting?
Nope. Even more evidence that they fucked that up completely.
OMG puppies. I recently watched the Battle of Algiers. The influence on Andor is very obvious. Also, check out Ukraine on Fire and note similarity to Gorham Color Revolution. Oh, that's interesting. Bird Up says they had a plan all along, destroying the Demigorgons with the power of gay. Sure, seems to be the plan here. Innovative Nutmeg. Question for Drinker and Mauler. I know I asked Platoon this on BSUP, but when Doomsday comes out, would you guys invite as many guests as possible for that week's open bar? I mean, I think you can guarantee it, really. We've got a bunch of people in our circle. Yeah, we got a lot of people in our circle who are big MCU experts, so we'll get them on. Reno the Turk. The minute I saw Chris Stuckman making a movie is how I felt when I see stupid-ass Jared Leto cast in anything. Sick, angry, and with indigestion. I mean, it could have been worse. Like, Chris Stuckman's movie wasn't the worst thing ever made. Intent Matters says Jeremy Jans made me laugh in his review. So the heroes are going on the air, poking at the government, questioning the narrative, throwing out conspiracy theories, and ignoring quarantine during quarantine time. Yep. All of those things are true. Zombie Elvis says, screw Barb, we're not made of Christmas tree lights. Yeah, she's dead now. Just let her go.
Poor Bob.
Yeah. Can't remember if I asked this or if I answered this on the night, but I'll do it now. Chernobog says, did you try Vana Tallinn in Estonia, their signature drink made in Tallinn? Also, Tallinn is a beautiful city featuring plenty of 13th century architecture, castles, and churches. Yes, I saw all of it. Love the city. Not all of Estonia is bleak. No, I mean, I would like to go back in the summertime when like the trees are out and it's actually sunny and warm. But yeah, what I saw, it was a pretty interesting place. And yeah, I don't think I drank Vana when I was there. I had looked at a lot of their local beers. And I think that was pretty much it. Scotty NCC, good to see Random caught his Spartacus BNS review and was so good I rewatched the entire series again. Gory violence and gratuitous TNA, I approve. Superb viewing. Panel's thoughts on the show. Angron's gay, by the way. So I only watched it in bits and pieces. I liked it from what I saw. I just wasn't like super invested in Spartacus.
He did answer this as well, I think, on the night. So
right, yeah. Ty Robbs says, for some reason, Frank Darabont came out of retirement to direct episodes 3 and 5 out of season 5. Yeah, that was weird. I don't know what they gave him to get him involved in this, but sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
15-minute movies. I'm 12 hours into Mauler's marathon. You've probably finished it by now, to be fair. And I've never seen so much entertaining cinema since Lord of the Rings trilogy director's cut, the only true cut. There you go. High praise indeed.
Well, yeah, thank you.
TL1524. I'm willing to die on this hill. Excuse me. Stranger Things should have been an anthology. Each new season is a new number, new cast, different decade of horror. Thoughts? That could have been quite interesting, actually, couldn't it?
I mean, why not make it a whole series that's good? How about that?
That would have been good too. Either of those things would have worked. But I do like the idea of like a Stranger Things anthology.
Yeah. I think that's cool too. I think it would have been cool if it was just one season. I think it would have been cool if they had done another spin-off show in a different area of the world that was dealing with the Upside Down, if it were good. Unfortunately, we live in the world where the Duffer Brothers aren't very good writers.
That's true. Der Schloop says, Mauler, working my way through the Star Wars Outlaws review for 6 hours alone. I'm honoring my vow. My sacrifice, it means nothing to you, does it? What did you sacrifice?
Everything. My mind is a sunless space, etc.
Yeah. You burned your future to ashes.
Mm-hmm.
Anabolic Angler says, the existence of the little platoon implies the existence of the big platoon. That is true. We've just never seen him. He's a mythical creature.
That YouTuber will arrive someday and it'll be terrifying.
Yeah. Happy Nihilist says, hey, Moobley, remember that guy with the villain worship vid? He made an avatar vid and called you dumb and changed his position on Earth dying without saying he did.
I don't give a fuck. we cover a lot of retards. I'm sorry. Like his video on Avatar was retarded. He was like mad that people have the interpretation that the humans have like a perspective that's worthwhile.
Right. Okay.
He's one of those people. It's just like, all right, bro. Dude, you should check out the latest EFAT. We covered someone who says Predator as a movie the Predator to the Commandos is allegorical of America to other countries, meaning that they're like imperialist, horrors that care nothing for the lives of others and just impose their will. And so it was like a cruel but comic irony that they kind of deserved what happened to them with the Predator, because the Predator shows them what they are doing to other people.
I mean, the interpretations you can project onto something like that are wild if you're retarded enough.
The amount of fucking shit they have to ignore in that video, like they basically sell the Commandos as bad guys. It's like they are explicitly good guys. Like, you have to just ignore so much of the fucking reference. They're saving hostages, and he just like ignores that. He says that they bursted and recklessly kill people.
Yeah, I mean, they do kill a lot of people, but they're trying to kill them as well.
It's just, we were talking about it, I was just like, fucking hell. It feels like almost nostalgic, just going back to just ignoring what's in the movie. But obviously, it's like a political angle as well, which we're not fucking thin on these days. Everybody's got one.
Yeah. Jay Fraser says, with prime James Cameron, hindsight and control of time and space, which franchise would you like to see him direct or write where he left off? Alien 3 or Terminator 3? I mean, they both got crippled after 2, but I'd like to have seen Cameron's T3.
Oh man, I'm trying to think. What would I like? Think of you just finished T2 or you just finished Aliens. Like, which one do you want to see the story go further? It might be Aliens for me, just because I want to think in a fantasy way. I'm just like, I really want to see a story where Hicks, Newton, Ripley get the story they deserve instead of whatever the fuck we got.
Yeah. I mean, that's like I say, both franchises desperately needed a good James Cameron third movie, but
yeah, rough, man.
Yeah. Megamind says, sorry if late. Hoped Avatar 3 focused on identity. Quaritch is an enemy in a Na'vi body, crushing his human skull. Avatar 2, and his son abandoned among the enemy, coping with failure, only seen as being a cheap copy by commanders. I feel like we read that out on the night, but yeah, I don't know if they're going to do anything remotely interesting with Quaritch. Like I say, I think if I was to predict, like, it feels like they're setting him up for some kind of redemption arc, and he's going to end up siding with the Na'vi, but I have no idea. They might not be that even smart enough to do that with him. He's generic cardboard cut-out bad guy. Bass player says you aren't allowed to kill main characters. Not in Stranger Things, you're not anyway.
Nope.
Keaton Kitsune says, I always thought the idea with Steve was that he'd join Hopper and the police. Oh, yeah, that we did that one as well. Stranger Things Season 1 reminds me of Heroes Season 1. Didn't need more. This is from Vector. Yeah, you could have easily finished it at 1 and I would have been happy.
They clearly intended to at one point.
Yeah. Jiraiya says, favorite villain to hero redemption arc? I mean, go the obvious one and say Anakin Skywalker. Where do we?
Wait, so I got confused there. Villain to hero redemption. So,
yes. So like, Darth Vader redeeming himself.
Yeah, that'd be a classic choice. I'm trying to think of. For some reason, my brain's coming up like kind of blank on like what are the more iconic
from Farscape. He had a pretty good redemption arc.
Yeah, I think that's actually pretty fair. I guess it was funny. It's like I don't know if I can cite Buffy with Spike and Angel, because the mechanics of their redemptions are complicated, right? When you become a vampire, you like lose your soul, blah blah blah. So, but to an extent, I still think it counts. Maybe Faith would be the one to go for that, but yeah, I don't know why. I just feel like why do I not have many more? Because people will cite fucking Boromir, and I just want to slap them.
Boromir was never a villain.
It's even worse when they say like, "Nah, he didn't redeem himself. He's still an asshole." And you're like, "What are you talking about? Just go away."
Yeah, it's wild. Waddle D's Nuts says, Drinker, don't forget this Christmas line. Ah, yes, I was wondering what would break first, your Christmas spirit or your Christmas body. Classic. Mega Spidey
Christmas
Man.
body.
Yeah. Would you ever consider doing the opposite of Crash and Burn for people like Nicolas Cage or anyone else? He has a spider noir show coming on Amazon. It would almost be like Crash and Burn and then Resurrection or something. I don't know what you'd call
Phoenix, something like that.
Phoenix from the Ashes, yeah, possibly. Yeah, I mean, there's probably mileage to be had out of that, I would say. Robert Downey Jr. would be a perfect example of like fucking self-destructed his career, went to prison, and then just comes back with like the biggest box office success in history. Um,
And that payday for Doomsday, holy shit.
yeah. Rare Candyman. Panel, thoughts on Apple TV shows? I love Silo myself. Pluribius is super interesting, but The Last Frontier's writing is lame. All exposition. Drink. Yeah, I
Have you
mean,
been watching Pluribus?
no, I haven't.
I've seen 4 episodes now by chance, and I like it. Not very passionate about it yet. I'm hoping it gets better in that regard, but it's a cool show.
Yeah.
Cool idea.
I like the style of Apple TV where they're not like Netflix where there's like a billion shows to choose from. Like they are quite selective about what they make. And yeah, maybe it's not all perfect, but like generally I think the production quality is pretty high and like they have a pretty interesting selection of stuff. So I do like their model for making things. And yeah, I like Silo. I've been enjoying that.
Yeah, it's fun.
Big Old Bobo says, what are you using logic for who Professor X can mind bend? Want to beat him inside his own head somehow? Or say Wanda beat him inside his own head somehow? Yeah,
I mean,
that
yeah,
movie
but
is...
she had immense plot favorability from the writing. If we had taken it from like a neutral position, Professor X fucking dominates basically everyone else.
Yeah. Jeremy Soden says, late reveal of a female Avengers team who will win. I mean, don't count that out, by the way. I wouldn't be entirely surprised if that doesn't happen.
I don't know. I think they have the balls to do it. I think they're like, oh god, if we do that, are we fucked?
I know, but like I think there'll be a lot of pressure on them to do it. Poncho says, don't worry, guys. Scarlett Johansson's going to star in the new Exorcist movie next. Yay. John Horn says, I just rewatched Dark City last night. Haven't seen it in 15 years. It's now one of my all-time favorite films. And yes, the Wachowskis absolutely plagiarized it. I mean, it's difficult to ignore some of the influences at play there, yeah. Dark City's a
At the same
wild film.
time, I do want to say, like, because I've heard that many times, and I don't disagree with the notion in general, but like, The Matrix is still impressive, I think.
Yeah, that's pretty fair. Whiskey Hunter, do you think Doomsday will sell? It will. I don't think it's going to sell to the degree of like other Avengers movies, though. That market is not there anymore.
It's not going to get them what they need, and I think they even probably know that at this point.
Yeah. Dr. Martin Luther Pepe says, Merry Schlurpmas. I'm catching up on the stream. Does Chris find his microphone? He does eventually find it, yes. Richie, hello, lads. Have you ever watched Arnold Schwarzenegger Lord of the Rings on YouTube? Just curious. Greetings from Argentina. Yeah. I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger makes every movie better when you AI him in. The Batman Titanic's my favorite.
Yeah.
Come on, Jack. Look at my boobies. The Batman guy says, when you can take a dog in a horror movie, make him the protagonist, and it's better than a lot of movies out there, then it says a lot. It really does. I love that movie. I love Good Boy. The more I think of it, the more affection I've got for it. Thomas Pollen Stavik says, just want to say thank you for the comment on Ruins Ignite. Just won our first award for Best Sci-Fi Short, and I've gotten honorable mentions. Very good. Yeah, it's a cool little short film. Lots of really good lightsaber choreography in that, so good job. Fear of FEMA says, the theater I grew up seeing movies in used to be a playhouse and started showing films in the 30s. It stopped showing films and went back to plays over a decade ago, maybe for the best. Yeah, we saw that on the night, actually. OMG Puppies, we saw Alien opening night in LA before anybody knew anything about it. Mock-up of Mother was in the lobby. The audience was stunned. A woman sitting next to me was weeping. Damn. Axel's Abode says, worked in a cinema. We had to pay a significant fee every time the film data was checked, even empty. Oh, yeah, I remember reading that one, actually, yeah. Whiskey Hunter says, 17-hour review by Mueller. What was it worth? Everything. C Black says, Forbes has confirmed Hugh and Ryan for Doomsday. I mean, there was never any doubt, really. They were going to be in it.
Yeah.
And Jariah says, poop is from the butt. Endgame. That's so true. I mean,
it's kind of insightful, I'd say, yeah.
Words of wisdom right there. This is so insightful, It should be in a Chris Stuckman review.
Hell yeah.
That was the last one right there, though. So thank you, guys. Thank you for sending us all those glorious super chats. We've done our best to answer them here. And, well, we'll finish up there. The next time you see us will probably be on the next open bar on Thursday.
Yeah.
But right now, that's all we got for today. So go away now.
Bye-bye.